Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome back to another episode of our Football Manager 2016 Gibraltar Challenge. Now this has been a massive season for us if you've been watching the recent videos. We have made it into the Champions League group stage for the very first time. We're probably not at the level we need to be to get in here, but I'm not going to moan. It's earned us quite a lot of money and hopefully it's going to boost up our reputation as well. Saying we're not quite at the right level, as you can see we pulled off a 1-1 draw at home against Marseille and then a 1-1 draw away at Barcelona before being beaten quite convincingly at home 2-0. So it still wasn't too bad against Chelsea. And tonight we have our fourth match of that Champions League group stage. We're going to be playing at home against Chelsea. Yeah, we're away against Chelsea. We're at Stamford Bridge. Tonight we're going to play at home against Chelsea. But first, we have a League One match against Gibraltar United to get out of the way. So let's get straight into that one now. And here we are in, as you can see, what looks like to be quite a dominant sort of one-sided match for us. We are dominating this league now, season in, season out. It's just a case of now trying to improve ourselves and in the process try and drag the rest of the teams in Gibraltar along with us. There's a lot more money being put into the Gibraltar League now. I think obviously St. Joe, well, whoever finishes second or third goes into the Europa League, so they're getting a chunk of money now as well. So hopefully they can start to spend that money wisely and hopefully someone else can become professional as well pretty soon. Team-wise, we are resting quite a few of our bigger players going into that match against Chelsea in a few days' time, of course. But team, who have they got? They've got Lee Howard in midfield. Is that Lee Howard? Yep, former player for us. 26 games he played for us. And I think they've got Danny France, who also came from us. He did come from us. Anybody else? Is that Stuart Cook? That is Stuart Cook. So he's playing for Gibraltar United now, which is pretty good. Good to see some of these players actually get clubs again. And Garcia Naito did start his career with us and we released him after a few years. Barely played a game and now you see he's been here now for 9 years, so he's done very, very well. It's a shame he's never decided to take up Gibraltarian nationality, but would he be a #1 goalkeeper? I doubt it really. Gibraltar United, one of the clubs that are actually looking strong and starting to really, not necessarily catch us up, but they're starting to progress a lot higher than what they were when they first started. So in goal we have Jubilani Machego. A really good player, wanted by some really big teams, as you can see right there. So he must have a hell of a potential. We have put a £5 million asking price on there, and he is contracted with us for another 3 years. So hopefully someone's going to pay near that, and that'd be great. At left back, we have one of our newer signings from this summer. It's Chris Roberts. Not really the stats I was hoping for when we signed him up, but a good backup player, and be good to get his fitness up, and he can give a little bit of competition that left-hand space against Jared Murphy. Into centre-back we have Juan Carlos Dulce, a player who we've not played a lot of, but I want to try and keep a hold of him for as long as I can, and hopefully he'll take up Gibraltarian nationality as well. One of our newer defenders coming in this year, Roger Newby. We didn't get him in quickly enough to play in the Champions League this year, but definitely a cracking player who's going to be a major force in our Champions League team going forward next year. As is this guy right here, Zhang Xiong-Jae. A great young right back. He's on a massive wage, our highest paid player so far. But again, once we got into the group stage of the Champions League, I thought we just needed to step it up a level with some of our signings. Marlon Manning, a player we've had for a good few years now as well, done very, very well in defensive midfield. Don't play in that much now. We've got a lot of other players that are same similar quality, if not better. But it's good to see him on the pitch. Bobby Jones, another one of our newer signings in this summer. Only played 1 game for us so far, so we're hoping to see a lot more from him. Stats-wise, looks pretty good. He's an ex-Chelsea player, so we can't have too bad. Sergio Tundi does keep his place in right midfield. I just want to keep playing this guy as much as I can because he's just getting better and better and better. And he's on a real cheap wage as well. After I might lock him in for another year in that contract at some point. Then up front, we have got Robert Tomic, one of our newer players again. He's scored 4 goals in 2 games, so he's looking pretty good for us. One of those was a substitute appearance as well, so give him a chance here, see what he can do. On the other side we have Michael Vega, who's been an absolute beast for us this season. Coaches don't really rate him too highly, but his stats are fantastic, and obviously he scored that goal against Barcelona a few weeks back as well. And then the man up front at the main striking position is going to be Eric Franks. So enough of me blabbering on, I've really spoke about a lot of that, haven't I? So let's get straight into the match now. Should be an easy win, I would imagine. Let's actually go to controlling. See if we can just dominate the game from start to finish. Should be an easy win, and then hopefully we can take this morale forward into that game against Chelsea. I'm not expect. Obviously, I expected us to get beaten quite convincingly in all 6 Champions League games, and so far we've drawn 2, so that's a massive achievement for us as well. And I'm not expecting us to do much in the next few games as well. So if we do get any more points, it's all an added bonus, really. Plus, you get a nice chunk of money. If you get a draw, you get like an extra 200 grand. So it all helps. It's enough to pay someone's wages for an entire year just drawing 1 game in the Champions League. And who knows if we could sneak a third place in the group stage, and we do drop into the Europa League. But it's all about now just building on this for next season and see if we can do it again. Franks is in there, and Franks put it in the back of the net from the cross from Etundi, and it only takes 4 minutes to break the deadlock here against Gibraltar United. So yeah, we're building on our team. We've got a couple of good players coming in January as well. I'll show you them when they do come in. A few players, again, going to really strengthen our squad going forward into next year's Champions League. Because we really want to build upon this now. We've done so well this year, and hopefully our reputation is going to go up quite high, and we can start to attract a higher quality of player as well after this. Dominating the game so far, 5 shots and 54% of the possession. Not much possession, but I think that's probably because we're getting the ball and attacking straight away, so we're losing possession to their defence, or their goalkeepers getting it for a goal kick, so it's not too bad. But now they're coming towards us. Seal. Back to Danny France, forward to Thomas. Danny France was one of the best players to come through our academy at the time, and he never really progressed at the level we were hoping for. And that was unfortunately the problem for a lot of our players. I think I figured it out now. Gibraltar has a really low youth player rating, so even if you've got fantastic sort of youth academies, it doesn't matter because Gibraltar just doesn't generate good young players. Although, of course, since we have been... Oh, great goal there from Frank, set up by Vega. As we have been taken over by a tycoon a few episodes ago, he has invested £10 million into our youth facility. So you never know. That might just boost up our youth rating a little bit to where we can start picking up some good young Gibraltarian players. Because it'd be nice to really give... Oh, look at that bicycle kick. It'd be nice to really give the national side a boost. It really would. And that's what I'm hoping to do with a few of these players that are picking up the nationality now for Gibraltar. We've got Jim Morrison and one of the other defenders as well, both taking Gibraltarian nationality, but I have been informed that they need to play another 2 years in this country before they can officially play for the national side, which would be pretty good because those are both fantastic players that will really improve the national side straight away. So 2-0 up, can we make it 3 before half-time? Atundi with a corner. Headed back in by Manning. It's picked up by Garcia Naito. What can he do with it now? He's sort of avoiding the counter-attack here by the looks of it. And kicks it straight to Roger Nubia. Plays it straight back forward to Vega. Vega back to Manning. Out wide to Seong Jae. I'm probably butchering most of these names, you know. I really am. He's doing well on that right-hand side. Everyone's afraid to tackle him, and Atundi plays it across to Bobby Jones. Great ball in. Franks is on a hat-trick, and he gets his first half hat-trick. Suspicion of offside, maybe? Just my eyes, maybe? Yeah, he's a first half hat-trick. First goal of the season as well, so scored 3 goals a season, all of them in this game. And Bobby Jones with a great assist. Again, another good young player who I think is really going to improve this side. And Frank's an American player. He's been with us now. Is this his 2nd season with us? Another possibility of taking Gibraltarian nationality, because I don't know how good these players are going to develop into. So if we can keep a hold of them for 5 years, then yeah, the Gibraltar national side could really get improved. How long has Eric Franks been with us? So he came to us in 2024, and we're about to go into 2026. So this is his 2nd season with us. So he's still got another 3 seasons after this if he wants to take Gibraltarian nationality, but either way it'd be pretty cool. Because he looks like a really good player as well, and I think it was mentioned to me in the comment section as well that Americans are really good ones to get. Because they don't often get into the national side. So, but we've got a few Americans, haven't we? We've got a right back, Wildman. We've got a defender as well, centre back. We've got. So it's been a while since I record these. I'm struggling with the names. I'm struggling to remember the names of the players. I'm sure I'll get into it. I'm going to try and record a few episodes tonight. Try and get ahead of myself. So only 3-0. We're going to take off Tomic, who's struggling a bit now. So we have another striker on the bench here. We do have Richard Jones, who's still trying to get back to fitness. Richard Jones, guy who broke all the records last year for goals scored. I would like to take off a Tundi as well. So let's bring on Sussikun. And who else is struggling? Chris Roberts at left back. We haven't got any left backs on the bench, have we? It's a bit of a strange one. So we'll have to leave him on. It's not a major problem if we leave him on. He's not going to be... he'll still be playing... He's not going to be playing against Chelsea, sorry, so it's not a major problem. And I think that'll be it for now. Just bring on those two. Yeah, Richard Jones, a player who actually dominated last year. I think he broke the records set by Cristobal Jimenez, the very first striker we got when we became professional. We lost him for we lost him for £500, I think it was. So that was absolutely gutting. But he broke the goal scoring record, and Richard Jones beat that last year. Really good player. Richard Jones again. A player I think we got from the Chelsea Youth Academy when he was released. Bobby Jones with a cross, and Franks, he just couldn't angle it into the corner, ended up putting it wide. But Bobby Jones on that left-hand side is having an absolute storming game. Looks like he's going to assist the goal every single second. Can we get one more goal before the end of this game? 3-0 is a pretty good victory. I'm a little bit disappointed not getting a goal in the second half. I think complacency has crept in a little bit, and we've just sort of coasted for the rest of the game by the looks of it. Sussikun now has the ball, tries to play it in. It bounces back to Seong-jae, crosses it in, and Cook clears. Good defender, Stuart Cook. He played a lot of football for us, but as soon as we became professional, unfortunately the Gibraltarian players just weren't at a standard that we needed. If we still stuck with the Gibraltarian players, we would not be in the situation we are now. We would never been in the Champions League group stage. They just don't have a high enough potential. It's a bit of a shame, but that is what we have to live with, and we're just going to have to try and, like I said earlier, just keep players in the country for long enough to gain them Gibraltarian nationality. It should be too difficult, really. And that is the end of the game. 3-0 victory over Gibraltar United. That puts us nicely at the top of the table. We're going to say we're happy with it. It probably could have been better than that, to tell the honest truth. But where we are, 6 points at the top of the table now already after 5 games. It's looking pretty good, isn't it, really? Eric Franks with the first half hat-trick, as you can expect, got man of the match as well. So enough of me blabbing on. Let's get straight into that game against Chelsea at home. And here we are, as you can see, massive, massive underdogs for this match. Even at home, we are 50-1 to win it, but it's not put us off so far. We've done well. We've got draws against Marseille and Barcelona, so there's no reason why we couldn't pull something else off here today. Who knows? Who knows indeed. So our key man of the match is going to be Bruno Ramito, our goalkeeper. That could very much be true. And as you can see, we've gone back to a more defensive... I've just seen their team. Wow. Paul Pogba. Lincoln. Now, if you don't know about Lincoln, he's a really good young player you can buy very early on in the game. I think he's about 16 years of age at Gremio when the game starts, so definitely try and get a hold of him. Laporte, Hector Bellerin, very, very good team. And they've got a Pope in there as well. Kurt Zuma, Gerson, another one of the young Brazilians you can buy at the beginning of the game. They've got Neymar on the bench. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. Chelsea look like a fantastic, fantastic side. So in goal, we've gone back to Bruno Ramito. Our first choice, actually stats-wise, I think Mashega's actually better. Jared Murphy at left back, got a couple of caps now for Australia, so his career is really moving on. Jared Madison at centre back alongside him, another really good American defender. Obef Batinho just been called up for Colombia, so he might get his first cap for Colombia soon. Jamie Wildman at right back, another possible player that could go on to play for Gibraltar. This is his 3rd season with us now. Is this his first match of the season? No, he's played Champions League. He hasn't played any league games yet. So yeah, it got a potential here of joining up with Gibraltar. This is his 3rd season, so not too long. Anders Broga, he's back. He is back. He's been away for a long time with injury. Not 100% match fit, but we need his We need his ability in this one. He's a cracking young player. He really is. Alongside him, we've got, of course, Marlon Manning, who did play that game against Gibraltar United, but fitness is back up to scratch. We're going to play Philippe in the central midfield position. Attacking left midfield, we have Finn Baird. Attacking right midfield, we're sticking with Serge Atundi. And then up front, we have Richard Jones, who was from Chelsea. And another player, possibly, if we can keep hold of him for long enough, would be a great player for Gibraltar. This is only his second season, though, so we've got to keep hold of him for another 3 for that to happen. Bench-wise, just the normal, no one special, no one amazing. And let's see how we get on in this one then. So we're going to say calmly, or should we say passionately? We owe Chelsea after what happened. That's a little bit over the top, isn't it, really? Let's just tell them to go out and make the fans cheer, because that's the best way. We don't want to put any pressure on them by saying that we think they can win this game, or we need to go out there and give Chelsea a hammering to make up for the loss we got the other week. We'll just make everyone happy, make everyone calmer, and we'll go into this defensively, counter-attacking, and just see what we can do. As I've said with all the games so far in the Champions League, as long as we don't lose like 6 or 7-0, I think I'll be happy. If we lose here like 4-0 at home to Chelsea, it's not the worst thing, considering they're different in quality. If you think they've got Paul Pogba and Neymar, and none of our players are worth over 30k, that sort of gives you an indication of roughly where we are at the moment and how much we are punching above our weight. But it's us on the attack to start things off. Wildman got the ball down this right-hand side into Marlon Manning, back out to Wildman. If we can get an early chance here. Philippe plays the ball in. Atundi. Atundi scores! We're leading at home to Chelsea! Oh, I'll tell you what, this Champions League has been absolutely stunning this season. It really has. I can't believe what has been happening. I really can't. I've never, ever had anything like this on Foot Manager before. Usually I'm absolutely awful. But I think the further you get into these sort of games, I think not necessarily the easier they become, but the more forgiving I think they are. Don't get me wrong, I still think we're going to probably lose this game quite convincingly, but still, to get the early goal, take the lead over Chelsea, that's a great feeling. Especially for all the home fans that are here. We are actually increasing the size of the stadium as well soon. As you've probably seen, we tried to build our own stadium, which the chairman agreed. There we go, there's the equaliser. Yeah, the chairman agreed to build our own stadium, but we could not get any... we couldn't get the planning permission from our local council, which was frustrating. So instead, we're going to increase the size of this stadium, which of course is shared between all the clubs in Division 2 and all the clubs in Division 1 as well. So we're paying for it, about £1 million, but at the same time, it's going to help all the clubs across Gibraltar gain a bit more ticket money, especially the clubs that are going to be in Europa League, because they're obviously going to sell out the stadiums a lot more likely. So it's going to help everyone out, really, just gain a little bit of extra money. And we're still going to keep pushing to try and build our own stadium. I've read on forums people have had this problem before, and I think, again, just continuing on, just building your reputation higher and higher and higher, and just keep trying, and eventually the council will break and they will let you have what you want, which is what I want. I said at the very beginning, building our own stadium was going to be a massive part of this sort of career mode, this Gibraltar challenge. The first real thing was to become a professional club, which we've done. Then we want to build our own stadium, and I think end game is going to be very much getting up to a point where we can win the Champions League. Whether we'll get there before Foot Manager 17 comes out, I've got no idea. We're going to keep trying though. We're going to keep trying. And I do want to get that national job at some point. And there it is, 2-1 to Chelsea. Good little goal there. Pogba, great run. Lincoln with a great little run and a through ball. And it was Adriano Diaz who scored the goal. I believe he's Argentinian when we looked at him last time. Great run there by Lincoln. And a little depth ball into Diaz, and Ramito had no chance with that one. So 2-1, we took the lead, and now we've given away 2 goals in the last 20 minutes to go behind, but still it's not too bad. We're getting 43% of possession, 45% now. We've had a couple of shots, including obviously the one that we scored the goal with. So like I said, as long as we can just keep it to a respectable scoreline, we'll be happy. And I don't really know about the reputation-wise. At the moment, I've not seen that much of a difference, but I wonder when we get knocked out of the Champions League if that's when the bulk of the reputation writers will go in. Because surely you'll get a massive kick. It's not just going to be like a slow movement upwards. Surely you're going to get a big kick because we've gone from nowhere, a club that nobody's heard of before, to a club that has got into the Champions League group stage. Surely that's got to be a massive momentum boost, a massive reputation boost, let's say. Our players attacking each themselves now. And again, I'll tell you what, that Lincoln looks fantastic, doesn't it? Great save by Ramito. And the good thing for us is that our players playing against players like this at Chelsea is just going to make them better as well, which is good. Because at the moment, playing against some of the other players in Gibraltar is not necessarily a challenge, which is what you saw with that Gibraltar United game earlier on. It was sort of too easy to the point where they just sort of gave up in the second half. Should we go for it? Oh, that wasn't too bad. That was not too bad. Where's the Faith one? Where's Faith? I've got no faith. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that. We can do this. Who knows? We're only 2-1 down. If we could sneak back an equaliser, who knows? We scored in the first half. No reason why we can't score again. We scored at the Nou Camp against Barcelona. We can score anywhere. Although I've got a feeling they can score anywhere as well at this point in time. It's amazing to think that we're doing so well against teams like Barcelona and Marseille and Chelsea. But the last few years when we played against Maribor year in, year out, we've been outplayed quite convincingly by Maribor. But I think now, with the players we've got now, some of them, of course, can't play in the Champions League, like Roger Newby, the new centre-back, and our new right-back, the South Korean lad. And a couple of players have got lined to come in January as well. With all those players, I think Champions League knockouts, Champions League qualifiers next season should be a lot easier. And I fancy our chances to either get back to this position again or at least get into the Europa League. I'm hoping. Oh, Gerson now. Great run by him. Sees the ball into Minella. It hits the post and Patino clears it. And we are still only one goal behind with half an hour left. I'm wondering whether we should switch it up a little bit and... who we got on the bench? Richard Jones is really struggling so far, isn't he? He's not really kicked into any sort of form. That's the problem I've got. Well, we're an hour in. Let's have a look at substitutions then. Let's have a look. What can we do? So I might drop Philippe back. Broga is not 100% fit. He's only just come back. So maybe bringing off Broga for Bernal. And then maybe bringing on Vega in place of Jones. Because Vega has been very, very good. He is a very good target man. But I don't know if you can play... We'll go for it. I don't know if you can really play a target man in this formation with a lone striker. And the two attacking wingers, there's nobody really to run on from him that often. So we'll go for target man anyway, and hopefully they'll just loft it into the box and he can head the balls into the back of the net. That's what we're aiming for. But just freshen things up a little bit, you never know. Vega, of course, was the guy who scored the goal against Barcelona in the last minute to get that equaliser. Be cracking if he could do it again, wouldn't it? So 69 minutes gone. And at least it looks like, once again, that we're not going to get dominated here. A 2-1 loss to Chelsea at home is not a bad result, in fairness. Again, if you look at things on paper, 2-1 result to Chelsea is a pretty astounding result for us, really. In fact, I know it sounds stupid to think that it's a really good result we lost 2-1, but it really is. On paper, we should be losing all these games like 6 or 7-0. Right, so we're down to 8 minutes left. Should we go for it? Why not? Let's go overload for the last 5 minutes. See if we can get that equaliser. Why not? Sneak an equaliser, then go to contain. So we have got a highlight. Is it going to be our highlight though? Jared Murphy plays the ball forward. It's cut out and now they're going to catch us on the break, aren't they? Pogba. Oh, Lincoln's in. He's had a cracking game. He deserved a goal and he misses it. Shocking there. I put my house on Lincoln scoring from there. 30 seconds left. A highlight is coming on. I've got a feeling this might just be the highlight to finish off the clock, but Who knows? Who knows if we could sneak another equaliser? We've done it before. Why not do it again? Philippe back to Marlon Manning. Manning forward to Vega, playing his target man role. But like I said, it's difficult when you're up there on your own. There's no one to really knock the ball onto. Philippe forward to Bernal. Vega's on the ball now. Using his strength to hold it up nicely. And he plays it back, and it's a 2-1 loss at home to Chelsea. Not a bad result, though, in fairness. Not a bad result. Like I said earlier on paper, we should be being hammered in these ones quite convincingly. So let's tell them that we're happy-ish, and it made Philippe delighted. Everyone else wasn't too really bothered about it. But still, there we go. So what was the score in the Barcelona-Marseille game? Marseille, looks like Marseille defeated Barcelona. Oh, that's an interesting one. So we, of course, have still got games against Barcelona to come and Marseille. If we could beat Barcelona, yeah, I know, I just said that, yeah, I know, then we could sneak into the Europa League. I can't see it myself. We could still get ahead of Marseille, but we need to win both games. So I think we're very much going to finish bottom now. I think it all depends on that game against Barcelona. If we can beat Barcelona, which is not going to happen, but if we can beat Barcelona, we can still get Europa League. But either way, like I said, I'm happy where we got. We've earned so much money this season. We've earned about £9 or £10 million just from being in the Champions League, and we're really going to invest that wisely in January. So we'll skip forward for a second, and then we will have a look at what we're going to see in the next episode. We're probably going to come back for Gibraltar Phoenix, and then obviously that game away at Marseille. So I'm going to play St. Joseph's and Cannons off camera now, and then we'll come straight back in a couple of days' time for that next episode against Gibraltar and Marseille. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do hit that like button. It does really help me out. And of course, if you are new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And of course, check out in the description below, because there will be a link to the Facebook page and the Twitter page for Europa Point. Go across and obviously support those guys as well. Really doing a great job down there. And I've really gained a place in my heart for them while doing this playthrough. And I'm hoping you guys have done the same. So yeah, I'll see you in a couple of days. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time.